First up, we have Mag. Mag is a caster combat Warframe with a higher skill cap than some other Warframes. As Mag, you'll need to learn to balance your abilities with your weapons. Mag is strongest when she is paired with projectile-based weapons, opposed to hit scan. For those of you who do not know the difference, if a weapon has a travel time from point of firing to the point it hits an enemy, it is projectile-based. An easy example of this would be a bow. It has a noticeable travel time, whereas a hit scan weapon, from the point of firing to the point it hits, there is no discernible difference. It is instantaneous. This is a hit scan weapon. I will explain why this is important a little later on. Mag's first ability is Pull. She will pull an enemy towards her. This is a light TC ability. If you need time to reload and you can't get to cover, you can use Pull. Mag's second ability is Magnetize, aka Bubble. Mag will bubble an enemy and it will stop them from moving, bar a few little special wank stains who will continue to jump about the place like they just came home from a crack party. If you shoot the bubble, the bullets, arrows, knives, missiles, trucks, and puppies, whatever you throw in there or shoot into there, it will home in on the center of the bubble, damaging anything in the bubble. This is why Mag should be paired with projectile-based weapons. With a projectile-based weapon, the projectile itself will fly around inside the bubble until it hits an enemy or the bubble collapses. When it collapses or destabilizes, any unspent projectiles will be then thrown from the bubble and damaging anything in their path. So think of this as a giant bloody grenade. As not only do the remaining projectiles fly out like shrapnel, but the explosion of the collapsing bubble will kill or damage any nearby enemies. This is a lot of fun, and this is where a huge amount of Mag's damage comes from. Furthermore, the bubble also applies a dot damage to anything inside the bubble. The damage that increases for every enemy hit inside the bubble. This also increases the explosion damage. So in short, damage in increases damage out. Mag's second ability also synergizes very well with her first ability and third ability. With Mag's first ability, you can pull enemies or mobs into the bubble. Mag's third ability, Polarize. Enemies that are hit by Polarize leave behind little shards. These shards, once inside the bubble, will increase the dot damage and the output of the explosion. Also note, you cannot shoot through the bubble. So if you're wondering why, well, it's because you summoned a collapsing star on some poor prick and gravity beats bullets. And also, this ability works best when paired with Duration. Do not slap Power Strength onto her and wonder why it does piss all damage and lasts as long as an Australian Prime Minister. The damage that this bubble will do is actually damage that you build up over time. This is a combination of good weapons and duration, not just raw power strength. Next up is Mag's third ability, Polarize. This is an AoE ability that will strip armor and shields off enemy and deal damage to them. So if they have a yellow HP bar, that is armor. Blue indicates shield. She will damage this part of the health. If the bar is red, it will not damage them. So if you press her third ability and start thinking, why is it still running, Precious? Why is it still running? That is because it does not do actual health damage. It does damage to armor and shields only. Now, what can actually kill the enemies nearby is actually the polarized shards. These little shards actually increase the damage. Now, if there's enough shards about, this is likely to kill them. But the shards are only created from shield or armor, not health. So do not try to use this on something like the Infested, which do not naturally have armor. But that being said, never underestimate how great this ability really is. Besides removing armor, because fuck armor, it also replenishes you and your team's shields. This ability will also last longer with Duration. Build for Duration. Do not slap 300% bloody power strength on her and then press 3 and go, oh, it doesn't do any damage. Oh, Mag's bad. That is stupid. This is a duration-based ability. It is designed to remove armor and shields and replenish shields, not kill things. That ability, that whole thing, is dead and gone. This is now a debuff to the enemy and a buff to the team. Do not build this on power strength. This is a duration-based ability, and duration-based is where it will shine the most. Mag's fourth ability, Crush. No, this ability will not summon the person that you've had a crush on for 5 years. I am sorry, but you are up shit creek on that one. What this will do is do a small amount of CC for a moment to all mobs in an AoE. It will pick them up, crush their dreams, give you an overshield, that's the purple shield if you're wondering, and then it will drop them to the ground in a short time. This does damage, it gives you shield, it gives you an overshield. It is a decent fourth ability, it's not the best, but in the early levels it does a lot of damage and you'll be just fine with it. It does not need much power strength, or any at all really. As long as you sit on about a 100% power strength, this ability will do just fine in the early levels. You'll be able to kill most things on the star chart with this ability. It is fine. It does not need a bunch of power strength. Mag's passive is Magnetic Attraction. When you bullet jump, you will actually pick up any loot on the ground. This might not sound so fantastic or great, but it is a very, very useful ability, as you won't have to walk over every piece of loot there is. You just bullet jump over the battlefield, you'll pick stuff up, and you don't have to run around picking it up by actually standing on it. This is actually quite useful. Later on, this ability is kind of moved to the side. It's no longer really there. Once you get a Sentinel with Vacuum, it'll do it for you. But if that Sentinel does happen to die, then you are still able to use this ability to pick stuff up. Whereas everyone else will still have to run around picking stuff up the old-fashioned way by standing on it. This is basically just a quick summary of Mag. Now, you could jump on the wiki and have a bit more of an in-depth look, or later on I may do a bit more of an in-depth guide or explanation on Mag, but this is just a very much a gloss over what she does. It's kind of quick and easy, about as quick and easy as I could possibly make it without dumbing it down to utter levels of that's a bubble, this is pulled, that is wave of purple stuff, and this picks people up. I mean, without doing that, this is a reasonably simple, easy tutorial kind of thing on Mag. So I hope it was useful, and next up we shall talk about Excalibur.